conference was actually online. So I'm just finding my way, and it's really lovely to see everyone here in person. I do notice that there's not much. There's only like a few of Chinese faces or Chinese heritage, but I just want to make a statement that basically, I have met some people here who are of of my heritage and are basically saying, yeah, they support for independence. So I want to just come on to this broadcast right here and basically just say, yeah.
And have you, it's really nice to meet someone who's been here for the first time. What kind of energy are you feeling around people and during these conversations, the fringe? Have you attended any of the fringe as well?
I think the energy of the people is very, very unified, is very, very lively, and it is and in a sense, there's a lot of anger towards Westminster is desperately needed. So, for example, I spoke on the motion supporting Dr. Shelley-Ann Brown's motion calling out the Conservative government's UK Rwanda plan and how wasteful it is. I mentioned about like how much it cost, about maybe approximately, as reported by the Refugee Council, each year £1.8 billion for it to implement, when we could have actually been using that money to, as I said so before, heat our homes, making sure we don't have 3-hour power cuts, and also having no other life lost along the English Channel. So yeah, it's very unified, but is unified under the same anger in basically saying we do not want this far-right conservative government.
Yes, and yesterday something was also mentioned on, people standing very, very strongly against people who are, acting against the Chinese. And also, I don't know if you were in that conversation, if you listened to it yesterday.
I wasn't too sure about this, but could you let me know about it?
Yes, yesterday, I think it is Dr. Shalin who mentioned there's a lot of Islamophobia and also Chinese being attacked,
Yes.
Chinese being attacked. And she strongly stood about,
It was actually a co-cap's chart.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, that meant a lot. It meant a lot. I stood up and clapped, and it brought a tear to me because, like it or not, my community, and obviously I can't speak on all of my community, but considering like I'm not much around here, it does mean a lot. It does mean a lot. There's an rise of xenophobia increasing throughout the UK. And it's something that we need to be aware of. I mean, we saw it during the height of the pandemic, where people are saying, like, for example, I've been told to go back to China and take my trans friends with me. But yeah, it meant a lot. It meant a lot because the problem is that Chinese people or East Asian or Southeastern Asian people or people of Chinese heritage, we are actually the second largest here in Scotland, and yet we are still underrepresented. And I'm just here just to say, here I am. I support independence, and there are others out there I know in this party that actually who are where I am, and I would like to tell them to come out.
So if you can let us in a little bit on why you feel that the Chinese people are not coming to the front and saying, like you have very confidently, to say, I am here. And there are so many other Chinese people. If you can give us an insight on why you feel this is the case.
I think it's a lot more complex, and I think it's because of the fact that politics is not really something that the Chinese community tends to talk about. But because of the fact that, we're all we all pay our taxes, we all work hard, and because of the cost of living crisis, it's actually hitting our communities. I mean, So I was informed by one of your staff members that you're based in Chinatown at the old place, and I read a sad story about SeaWorld that they have to close down was it a viewpoint, is it? And but they are reopening Chinatown, but they were trying to make sure that they were able to hold two places, but because the cost of living crisis is actually hitting us, and I would like to say, you have a voice, you can come out and say it. I think it's just because of the fact it's not something that we're particularly used to about it. Even especially, I'm mostly the anomaly because, like, I grew up here. Well, I grew up in Northern Ireland, but it's just something I tend to notice. We tend to try and be the standard ideal of a model minority, where we keep our head down, don't say anything, shut up, and everything else. But we pay our taxes, our businesses are being hit, and we have to say that enough is enough about this. And actually, right here in Aberdeen, there was a long-standing, I think, Chinese takeaway shop or something like that, closed after 20 so years, and that is pitiful. That is wrong. And I'm just saying right here that you don't need to stay in this awful ride of this government, of this UK government, basically. Ever since 2016, the writing was on the wall. It's time for us to actually stand up and say, yo, not enough. Come on.
So I'd like for you to say something to the Chinese community, what you'd like to see them do, because you're saying the spaces are not there and they've not created, or they've not been created for them to come and express themselves. Secondly, maybe a word to the Scottish government on how they can engage or integrate the Chinese community.
I think the Scottish government is very aware about the Chinese community. I would like to say that maybe a bit more engagement and more acknowledgement about it. I don't know, maybe more celebrations of. I mean, in Glasgow does it very well, but I don't see much of a community collective. I'm based in Edinburgh, and that's the capital city of Scotland. That's not really great. But a message to the Chinese community is that if you have a voice, use it. You pay your taxes. You have every right to, whether if you are an SNP supporter, you have every right. Come out, engage. It's okay. I understand. We all understand that it's hard to talk about it. Politics can be divisive. But you're here. It's your country. And it's okay.